Hello everyone, welcome back on our programming journey in Python. Today we're going to be taking a look at dictionaries. We're going to learn what dictionaries are. We are going to learn how to access values in the dictionary. Basically, we're going to be covering all of these in this video. Alright, so first of all, before we take a look at how to create dictionaries, we need to understand why there's this. Now, dictionary, just like the normal dictionary we have in our normal lives. So the normal dictionary we have, the idea behind it is for it to store meaning to a particular word. It's kind of the same in Python, but it's not necessarily the actual meaning to a particular word or a key. In the case of Python, what we assign values to is called keys, but in a normal dictionary it could just be any word. Now, so that's like there's just like a little bit of discrepancy between the two. So the normal dictionary we have stores meaning to a particular word, and the dictionary in Python basically stores any kind of value to a particular key. So that's the difference between the two. Now let's take a look at how to create a dictionary. So I've already written out some code here. So this is a dictionary. Now you can see there's this value here separated by this colon. There are these two values here separated by this colon here. So the first one is the key and the second one is the value to that key. Now the value of the key can be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be, a meaning to this key here. So you can see age is 26 and the data type too can change. So we can have different type of data types here. You can see we have a list in the case of the subjects. The teacher's key too has another dictionary in it as well, which is really awesome. So yeah, that's how you create dictionaries in Python. Just put a set of key value pairs in this squiggly brackets here. And now for the keys, you should be careful because you can't just put any data type as keys, but for the values you are good to go. So let's say, for instance, you can use like two. For instance, let me print the student dictionary. So this student here is a dictionary. You can give any name to your dictionary, so depending on what you want it to do in your program. So now you can see 2 is now our key here, and the value for this 2 is JSON. To test if this is really correct, so we can access the values from the dictionary. So to access a value in a dictionary, you just put the square bracket in front of the dictionary and then put the key there. So I'll just put 2 here, and then when I run this code, now you can see JSON is printed. So let me revert back to the first name that we had here. I'll just put it back here again. First name, like this. So when we run this code again, now you can see there's an error, key error, because 2 no longer exists in this dictionary here. So there are 2 ways you can access a value from a dictionary. So you can either use this square brackets here, or the second method, which is by using the get method or get function. Let me say get function. So you write the dictionary's name and then put dot get. Now you put in 2 like this. So you can see the first one here, so that there is a difference between these 2, and this is why I'm just using them side by side. So when I run this code now, you can see, let me just remove this one because this error is not allowing the other line to run. So when I run this code now, you can see it's just giving me none, right? So this will give us a default value instead of an error. and our code will basically continue running. And this also accepts a second argument, which is the default value you want it to print when the key is not in the dictionary. So I put 2 here and say this value or this key does not exist, like this. So when I run this code like this, now you can see this key does not exist is printed in the terminal, which is quite helpful when you are trying to access values in a dictionary and you don't want your code to just output some errors. So yeah, that's how you create dictionaries and access values from a dictionary. What else are we looking at? So we've taken a look at these. So you can add new values to your dictionary. So how do you do that? Okay, I forgot to explain why I have this other line here. So you can see, even though we are putting the values here in the curly brackets here, this is not a dictionary, and we are even separating each value by a comma. This is not a dictionary, this is a set. So just be careful, because sets don't have key value pairs, but they are also put in this kind of, curly brackets here. So when I print this not dictionary here, you can see this will just return a set of unique values. This C will be printed only once and not twice. So when I run this code now, you can see we have Python, Rust, and C, and not Python, Rust, C, C, C. So even the Python itself was, written twice in this set here. So that's set, and this is dictionary. So there are 2 different things. So let's take a look at how to add a new value to our dictionary. So to do that, we simply write the name of the dictionary, students, and then we put in the new value that we want to give it. So let's put address, like this, and then set this value to home 1, 2, 3. Let me just leave it like that. And when we print this dictionary again, the next time we print this dictionary, which is the student dictionary, when we run this code now, you can see home has been added to the dictionary, which is really awesome. Now, one thing you need to note is that when you try to access a value from a dictionary, let's just print let's say first name, like this. Print student first name. I'll just copy the value here and paste it here. All right, so when we do this, you can see JSON is printed here. Okay, this is followed by our new dictionary. So JSON is printed in the terminal, but if you change the case, so the case has to match in every situation. So when you run this, now you can see it is giving you key error because this first name is written differently from the one we used to create the actual first name. So you have to be really careful with how you want to access your values. So to get the actual value, you have to use the correct spelling with matching cases. So yeah, that's quickly what I wanted to give you a heads up on. So yeah, that's how you add new values to a dictionary. Sorry. So when we run this code now, you can see home, this address has been added to the dictionary. Now, how do we delete values? Okay, modifying values in a dictionary. Let's first of all modify values. So to to modify a value, you simply use the same thing. So let's say the first name, now we want to change the first name to something else. The first name should now be Jacob, right? Or Jacob, like this. When we run this code now, the first name is no longer Jason, but now Jacob. And that's how you change, values of a particular key in a dictionary. So just access it with this square bracket and then just assign it the new value. All right. So what next? Removing the key value pair in the dictionary. So to remove a key value pair, you simply type delete. What do we want to do? Let's delete the first name here. Delete student first name. So you just put it like this, and then when you run this code here, you will no longer have the first name, but then the age. So it starts from here. This will be completely removed, which is really, really good. All right, so that's how you just use the delete keyword and put in the value you want to delete. But if you put something that is not there, this will also give you an error. So because this key does not exist here. So make sure you access the right keys and then, delete them. All right. So our code is okay now. What next? What is next? So let's loop through all the key value pairs in a dictionary. So to do that, we will simply use the for loop. So I'll just comment these ones out and push them towards the bottom. All right, so you type for, and the for loop usually takes two arguments. The arguments are the key, and then the value in. You just put the name of your dictionary, and then what do you want to do? So I'll just say, let me just print a formatted string. So I'll just put F, the key, okay, let me just put key is this one, the key here, and then value is this one, this value here. So instead of putting this one here, I'll just put something like this. So let's run this code and see. Okay. Now, the reason why we have this error here is that this key value, the argument for this for loop, when we are trying to just access the, when we are just trying to loop through the student, is too much. So the argument has to be 1. But if we want to access the two values, which is the key and then the value itself, we need to put this here, items, in front of the students list. So we change this to item. Now this arguments that we pass into this for loop here will be valid. So now our code works just fine. Now you can see we have the key here, and then we have the value here, which is awesome. So our code is working fine. But this doesn't mean that we cannot still iterate through these values here. So when we remove this, the solution to our previous error is simply to remove that. So that's this, when we are just looping through the student itself, the argument is just 1. So you don't need to pass multiple arguments to it. So let's print this here. We'll just print the key itself. So this will simply return the key instead of the key and then the value. So when we run this code now, you can see only the key is printed on each line, or all the keys are printed here. What else? What else? Now there are two ways you can access the key to. So this is the first way. The second way is to just put dot keys here like this and then run this code. This will still work just fine. Now to access values, you simply put values here like this, values, and then boom. Now you can see everything is working fine. So we've accessed the keys, looping through all key value pairs. Yeah, we've done that. Looping through all the keys in a dictionary. We've also seen that. The two ways, order in loops. What did I put this here for? Okay, yeah. So if you want to get like, you want to print the list in a set, the keys in a particular order, let's say in a sorted order, you simply put keys in sorted, then you put the, here like this, the dictionary in it. So this will sort the dictionary and put each value in a sorted order. So you can see you have age. Age came before first name. So it's sorting them alphabetically, which is awesome. All right. What else? Looping through all the values in a dictionary, the two ways, all and unique. So yeah, okay. So this is how you loop through the values. I think I've done that already. So let me do it again. So for keys in values, no, for values, let me just put values here. So this variable can be anything, or you can call it X and Y, Z. So, but this just helps me know what I'm doing. Students dot values here like this, and let's change this to values. Oh, sorry, values. Then when we print this, you can see we have our, we have our values in the terminal. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked out. What else? Okay, we want to print the unique values of a list. So to do that, you simply transform these values array here. This will give you a list. Sorry, you transform this particular list here to a set. So you just pass it to a set, and then put in the values here. So when we run this code, unhashable type. Wow. Okay, we have an error here. Boo. Okay. So what is going on? Unhashable type list. Oh, I see what's happening here. So the reason why we have this error here is that so the value here is not an actual value, but a different data type, which is a list. So if we remove this, even this here at this point will give us an error. So if we remove, let's just remove these values here like this. Now you can see we have age, which is 26, level is 26, and first name is Jason. Now if we run this code here where we are looping through a set of unique values, then this will simply give us Jason and remove every other duplicate values that we'll have. So now you can see we have just 26 and Jason. Awesome. So we can also loop through just the values like this. So remove the sets, move the sets here, and then run this code. You can see you have Jason 26 and 26, but if you put the sets there, you will have just Jason and 26, which is really nice. So I think that's it for everything we need to know about dictionaries. And okay, one thing I would like to also cover is when you'd see in some code, so let me just put a for loop. So looping through a dictionary key and then values like this, key values, and in student dot items like this, and then print the keys. Now in this case, we are just printing only the keys and we don't need the values. When we run this code will work just fine. But what you see some people do is change these values here to an underscore, which means that they will not use this particular one. It's not needed, but they just leave it there like that. So when you run this code, this will still work just fine. If you want to get only the only the values like this, you can still put the values here, and when you run the code, it prints only the values, which is really nice. So yeah, that's it for dictionaries in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.